Welcome into the RotoWire DFS Soccer Show. We're talking Saturday's 3-game slate over at DraftKings. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Ryan Belongia. We're sponsored by the Pasty Guy. Shouts to the Pasty Guy. What's up, Ryan? We're fresh off a couple Champions League, some Europa League Thursday. Aston Villa was involved in one of those slates there, but Arsenal 3-0. You're probably feeling pretty good here.
Yeah, feeling great. 3-0 Arsenal over Madrid. I mean, that was kind of a once in a lifetime game from Declan Rice, but yeah, feeling really good after that. Excited for this Champions League slate. I mean, it's not the greatest of slates, but I guess a few things make it interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, I got this cheat sheet up. No longer a soccer trial. It is a promo code ROTO15. You can use that 15% off any subscription that you get over at RotoWire. But yeah, this is, people look at Brighton, the slate. Brighton kind of towers over it a little bit, home against Leicester. Leicester, who have lost 15 of their last 16 matches in all competitions, haven't scored in their last 8. Clearly the main talking point there. I think one thing with Brighton, though, we see in their projected lineup, unclear who's actually going to start next to Lewis Dunk. There is a younger player that they brought in, Iron Cashin, who came off the bench in a recent game. He didn't really look up to Premier League level, so I put Baleba back here playing center back. He was mentioned by Hertzler in his press conference as one of the options, so that is a possibility, something to look at. Maybe that gives Leicester a chance here to score without a squad for Brighton. But the other games, Aston Villa, Southampton. Aston Villa will probably rotate a bit. We saw what their lineup looked last weekend because of Champions League. Southampton coming off an okay result. They're home. And the Nottingham Forest dealing with a bunch of injuries for the first time this season. How is that going to affect that matchup? So there's a lot of questions, I'd say, for lineups. It feels like as we get down to the end of the season, it's just going to be every slate we talk about. It's like, well, we don't know what Southampton are going to look like because they're already done for. So what are they going to do? Aston Villa are going to rotate because of Champions League. Forest have injuries. They can move to 3 center backs. Everton got back Dwight McNeil. He's going to take minutes from someone off the bench. Brighton have some injuries and absences. Miedema got the picture on the YouTube graphic, and this morning, of course, he's dealing with a knock, so he may not be able to start. And Leicester City's Leicester City, so that's kind of the slate we're looking at here for Saturday morning.
Yeah, there's questions everywhere and injuries and rotation. I think people will probably default to Brighton because of that. I think it's probably the highest total this season for Brighton. 2.35 against this hopeless Leicester team. I mean, our buddy Jack Burghart's been betting Leicester, touting Leicester in the Discord as the sharp bet of the week. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen here against
those
Brighton.
people lost their sharp status, I think.
Yeah, just what it was. Unbelievable. But yeah, Leicester looks pretty hopeless. Maybe Brighton missing a center back. Maybe they can nab a goal, like you said. But I think a lot of people will look to Brighton with that total. It's not real obvious where to go after that. I mean, you mentioned it's a great spot for Villa against Southampton. They will probably rotate. They have the PSG match coming up again on either Tuesday or Wednesday. I forget. But you're going to get Asensio starting here probably for 70 minutes or so. Feel like most people will probably take that, but it's not like a sure thing or anything. Same with Brighton. Then you're gonna have to wait on the Brighton lineup, but I could see O'Reilly starting again. Would you want 65 minutes of O'Reilly Monopoly? It's an unbelievable matchup. What would that do to Stupinian at 6,500? He didn't take any sets last game. He got subbed early. But if O'Reilly doesn't start, then Stupinian's probably a lock in a matchup against Leicester. Maybe you say you just play him anyway, but there might be some other good defenders on the slate too. It depends what formation Forest show up in. Do we think they're going to play wingbacks again?
I mean, if Iwanyi, Elanga, and Wood are all out or on the bench, I mean they're really stretching of who's actually going to be in the lineup. I feel like it makes more sense just to go with guys who actually are used to getting minutes rather than I think the other option I've seen would be who's the
Chris
other?
Wood. I've heard Chris Wood could come in.
Okay. Well, okay. Outside of the injured guys, I guess Danilo could get a start again, but he hasn't really worked. I'd say the recent starts he has. So it's
Yeah. Okay. Something to keep an eye on, just
yeah.
because Nico, he smashed last time out as a wingback against Villa. Yeah, 3 shots, 7 crosses, even took a set. Like in this spot against Everton, he'd look great if he was on the wing again. You might get Moreno for 2,900 on the wing. Some decisions at defender then with Estupinian there, Ryan Manning there. Southampton lineup, we'll have to look for Smallbone. If Smallbone gets the start, I'm not going to want to play Smallbone, but it's going to rule out Fernandez probably at 6,200. At least in cash game type stuff if he's not going to take any sets. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of an interesting slate because it's not too obvious, but I guess, people will look at matchups against Leicester and Southampton and probably just jam Brighton and Villa.
I think speaking of just like locks, we can the Riley situation. Him and Estupinian are both left-footed, so I wouldn't go Estupinian lock here without set pieces.
No, every time O'Reilly's been on, I haven't seen Estupinian take like anything.
Right. Yeah, he didn't have any last week with like 3 points. Not
And I
not
mean, Brett,
great.
there's been a lot of days in between games, so I could see him rolling out, rolling out O'Reilly again. Guess it depends it depends what he wants to do, maybe at center back.
Yeah. Yeah, they just struggled a little bit, so I took them out. They lost that game against Crystal Palace. I would
But yeah,
say I think we've been here before, but Elliot Anderson without Elanga is at 6K. I don't I don't know if I want to say lock here. It's been a long time since we've been at this stage with Elliot Anderson, but Elliot Anderson with set pieces, eh, is
pretty close
he
to a lock. Yeah, that's a good call.
is he maybe the safest play at 6K?
Yeah, I think so. Without Elanga, majority of sets, you would think. Um, yeah, he would seem like the safest.
And then right-footed sets. I guess Solly March came on late, took sets. Diego Gomez or Ayari, I guess. Is that who would be right-footed sets for
Yeah,
Brighton?
Ayari. I think it would be Ayari.
Okay.
But if Ayari wasn't in, Gomez has taken.
Yeah, so it's just
I'm not sure they've both even really played together, but I think it would be Ayari.
right. Just a just a situation. The best spot,
Yeah,
but
because you're gonna want Brighton. You would want Brighton right-footed sets for sure in this spot.
yeah, before we get going to the forwards, like probably want to look at the bench here. If Miedema or even I don't even know if that matters how much the bench matters because there's not in this projected lineup. We have O'Reilly, we have March who played last game, Miedema if he's available. We have all these guys to come on. So like I would say no one's really safe for 90 minutes from this front four. And then we still have questions of set pieces. So I guess I think we've ended what? So if O'Reilly starts, he'll be on the left-footed set pieces. If he doesn't start, it'll be Estupinian. And if Ayari starts, he'll be on right-footed set pieces. If he doesn't start and it's Gomez and Baleba in the midfield, it'd be Gomez on right-footed set pieces.
Yep, you got it right. Yep.
There was a time when Minta was actually taking set pieces, but that is no longer. Yeah, he hasn't taken. I guess he hasn't played as much lately, but Minta's right-footed, right? No, he's left-footed. So I guess he would be behind those other guys.
Yeah, he's even behind Estupinian now
Okay, right? Because
from some
Estupinian
recent
was coming back
matches.
from injury, so that's why he wasn't. Okay, that's
It
all
would
right.
seem like Ayari is almost for sure to start.
Yeah, yeah, it'd probably be if Baleba isn't at center back, it'd probably be Ayari and Baleba. I think that would be the
Yeah.
assumption. So, All right, so now that we figured that out, let's let's take a look at forward here. And of course, forward we have the questions of who's actually going to start for Aston Villa. Reminder: they do have the PSG match. I believe, this is the exact same lineup I plugged in here that they used last weekend. Guys like Rashford didn't start; he started midweek, and we got to switch up in the midfield. Um, so Malin gets the start, Asensio in here. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I guess I'm not sure what exactly the first move at forward is because we have basically all these questions. Minto without set pieces is 10.2K. Seems like, I mean, they are a big favorite. What is, do you have a first move here at forward? Because there's not really, I wouldn't say there's like a slam dunk per se on this slate. It's like all of it all depends on who's actually going to start. It's like, okay, if this guy starts, he is a good play. If that guy starts, he's a good play. But there's a lot of questions. I guess if we get this lineup where maybe a Dingra and Mint to start, would you just go a Dingra because he's 7K? What do you think?
Um, I don't know if I'd go either of them. Actually, I don't 10-2 for Minta. It makes me think that João Pedro is better for 8,800. Welbeck is better for 6,400. I mean, it's like the matchup of the season. Welbeck played 90 last week. Him and Pedro, best chances to score. With the other guys, they just like Dinger. I'd worry about a sub. Like, yeah, it'd be fine. He could go 90. Like you said, gonna look at the bench. Gonna have a higher floor there too. I wouldn't. I don't think you could go wrong there. And you have the Villa guys, Asensio 8,200. You're pretty sure he's gonna get subbed, but it's still, I don't know, a tough fade if you want to fade that. I think it's a fine play for 8,200 in this spot. You'll have Ollie Watkins for 92. I don't know that I'd go there in cash games, but he could start and go 90. Malin for 63. I don't know that I don't think I'd go there, but I
I
think that's the pool. I mean, I don't think you're looking at anyone from Forest and Everton.
What would the set piece situation here be for Aston Villa? Because we look at this last game, and Rashford had the most sets, but he came on off the bench at 28 minutes. I think so. Asensio and McGinn both took set pieces against Forest. They're both right-footed, right?
They're both left, so this would be Asensio and Tielemans split.
Right. Okay. Tielemans.
Like
Tielemans.
Asensio, yeah,
Tielemans just
Asensio,
hasn't taken a set in like 4 weeks or 4 games for some reason.
yeah. What happened in that Forest game? Yeah, I see Asensio didn't take any.
Well, I think it was a dead
Um,
game, and then Rashford got three corners after coming on. That's kind of what
yeah,
happened.
I think that's what it was. I think Asensio would be a popular cash game choice for 8,200 against Southampton.
Maybe Asensio took a corner, subbed off, then McGinn took one before he subbed off, and then Rashford had them when those
Yeah,
guys are off, I
he's
guess.
also just been like in good form and scoring. And I know when he's on, I've seen he's taken over McGinn and Dina, so I just assume he's going to take here.
Asensio 8,200. Okay. If
I
we get
think
an
people will go there.
if we get an Alonga start, 9,800, what are your thoughts on coming off an injury? You went 45 last game. Tough
It's
click
another one of
or
those. Yeah, I mean, you can go either way. Like I think you'll have the money for it. Like if if he didn't have that injury, I think people would be excited to click him, right? They have been for a few months now. He's been playing well. He usually plays 90. But yeah, I mean, this we didn't get much info from Nuno. Um, I'd be a
as
little
usual?
worried. Yeah, I mean,
Nuno lied about someone's injury last week.
I think he would still like. I think he would be better than Minta. I don't know. Maybe that's like somewhat of a take, just because Brighton have a huge total. But like, I'm always of the belief that if a guy starts, they're fit and ready to go. But yeah, going 45 the week before is pretty worrying.
Yeah, pretty tough situation. I plugged in. I got the Roto AI projections. If you want those, I will be posting those in the Discord, rotowire.com/chat. I plugged in the initial look, and actually some of the Aston Villa guys popped up because they're so cheap. Morgan Rogers is only 6,500. I know we talk about okay rotation, but he's basically going 90 every game. He's in this spot. I mean, we can look at, okay, the last time they had the Bruges matchup, 90-89. Then he went 66 in the second leg against Bruges. Okay, they were dominating that one. FA Cup, 73. But, for most of these Premier League games, he's still going at least 80 in every game, no matter what he's doing in Champions League. So we know he's a guy who hasn't had much of a floor this season. But Southampton, 6,500. Is this a
That
cash?
seems okay.
Yeah, okay. He's I
Seems
mean he's
okay.
right he's right in the range with Welbeck, and I'd say Rodgers is maybe, I don't know, just as I don't know what I say. I don't know if I want to say just as likely to score, but maybe more likely to go 90, go more than 80 minutes, and Welbeck, who hasn't been 100%, probably has a better floor, maybe has a better floor. So,
I worry a little bit about that PSG game. Like Villa are down 2 goals. I think they, I know. I could see I could see Rodgers getting subbed. But yeah, no, I agree with the take in general. Welbeck though, like 90 last game from Welbeck would seem like he could be in line for 90 again.
oh, yeah, he did go
6 days
90.
rest,
Okay.
6 days rest, and yeah, I don't know, like he could play 90 again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I missed that one. 90. So, yeah, okay, I take back what I said about the minute situation there. So, yeah, I guess Welbeck here. Probably healthier than Joao Pedro, and he's cheaper than Joao Pedro. So, yeah, I think if you're looking at Joao Pedro, why not just play Danny Welbeck? I guess in that situation.
I think so. Like, I hate clicking Welbeck in cash, but Leicester is like a special case these days. It's like a unique matchup. So,
Yeah, they've been running out this lineup where I actually changed it because Van Nistelrooy changed it. I think it was at halftime of their last game, and it just wasn't working. Where they had three center backs, two defensive midfielders, two wing backs. It was just like extremely defensive, and they weren't really getting anything done. So maybe they change it up back to like a 4-2-3-1 again. Maybe that doesn't happen, but uh,
man, poor Van Nistelrooy. It's one of the worst teams I've ever seen for the Premier League.
They had 12 corners in that last game against Newcastle. We haven't really talked about the set piece takers for Leicester. Uh,
12
again,
corners against Newcastle they had?
yeah, I mean, they were down all game, so it was just like,
Yeah.
they only had 7 shots, but they had 12
At
corners.
least though, I didn't catch that game. I remember the game games before that, like they couldn't even they were chase the game if they wanted to, or like I remember that game against West Ham.
Yeah, the Man
But
City
yeah,
game, they
so
had 2 shots.
12 corners, somewhat encouraging.
So, yeah, again, the 2 starts, I think El Kanouche will have at least a split. We'll see if Buona Notte starts. And it looks like Luke Thomas, he has been taking corners. So I guess once we get to defender there, Luke Thomas might be relevant to an extent. But I think Buona Notte is a forward, right? No, he's not.
Midfield, I think.
Never mind. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's see. Who are their forwards? I guess if Mavididi starts, I don't think he's a set piece guy, though.
He has been, but not this year.
I guess he's taken some. He probably took after El Kanouche went off, is probably what it was. Patson Taka is 3,800. He's started sometimes recently.
I don't know that we need any Leicester on this slate.
All right, that's fair. Do we need Southampton on this slate?
That would be better. I think that would be better.
Is
Much
Sulemana too
better, actually.
expensive? Where is Sulemana?
I mean,
He's 4,500.
finally, like they put some respect on his name. I mean, he just dropped 16.7 against Spurs. No, I'd much rather play Southampton here. They actually have a little bit of momentum for once. Villa's in this weird spot where they've had big Champions League game sandwiched between Southampton could score 2 goals here. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
The Sulemana numbers are are kind of worrying here. Home against Wolves and home against Crystal Palace, he totaled 4.1
The times I
points.
played him. Yeah.
Yeah, tournament only. Tournament only.
Yeah, tournament only.
We talk about Aston Villa, but I still think like there's a lot of rotation here. Like if this is the lineup that they use, this is an entirely new back line. But I mean, it's full of
Yeah, so
just
you
like
mean, are you saying they're just going to come out and smash like a fresh side, like guys that are ready to come in? Like,
uh, possibly they're playing really well. Like they are playing the
yeah,
best they have all season. This group like beat Nottingham Forest 2-1 last game. They came out with those 2 goals in the first 15 minutes, basically off of counters a little bit. But like we're talking, okay, they're rotating their whole side, but I mean they're outside of like okay, Andres Garcia. Outside of him, like I'd say like this is pretty good squad.
I mean, yeah, their front six is all senior internationals at the highest level. So
I mean,
yeah, no,
Ian Matson made the Champions League
right.
run with Dortmund last season. Mings and Disasi in the back. Onana, we know about him. Tielemans and Rogers are, I think, the only two guys that are the same. If this is what the lineup is, so
Yeah, like they should go out there and I
like
don't like, yeah, I don't mean to overlook them or like say like, oh yeah, this is a Southampton
it's
spot
like
or a
oh
Villa
Southampton are
letdown
gonna get
spot. No, I
Southampton
don't
are gonna
think
get
that.
two because okay
I just think I'd just rather play them than Leicester guys, I guess.
maybe we don't want to play either. But yeah, that's where we're at. So Asensio kind of stands out, and make a decision. um, Rogers, Adingra, maybe one of the expensive guys if you have the money. That's kind of what we're looking at least for cash games. Do you have any other thoughts here?
No,
I
I
guess we
would
haven't
say
mentioned Hudson Odoi is 8,600. If all those other guys are out, you'd think that Hudson Odoi has a bigger role. Maybe not set pieces, just like on the ball kind of a thing in this attack. So
yeah, I think Hudson Odoi is fine here. He should have a decent floor no matter what, and play 90 minutes. Like
right.
this is a slate. This is another slate where you're gonna want some 90-minute guys.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on the Nottingham Forest bench because that's gonna decide on maybe not Joe Silva's minutes, but some of these other guys, at least Gibbs White and Hudson Odoi's minutes, at least. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yep.
Midfield, Solly March, 10.4K. How far we've come. How far we've come for Solly March. He's been at least 8K in every game this season. I'm not sure. They must just be pulling the best stats for him. So midfield. Oh, I do notice. How long have we had midfield / forward dual eligibility? Has this been a common occurrence?
Wow, yeah, I didn't notice. It's there for some slates and then gone for most.
Yeah,
It's been
it's
gone for most, but sometimes they bring it back. I don't know. DK just kind of does whatever they want.
yeah, caught me by surprise there. But midfield. So if Matt O'Reilly starts, do we plug him in for 7,800 even if he's getting 65 minutes here? Or 7,800, what did I say? Yeah.
It's one where you can like go either way on. I don't know. I don't have an answer really. I think I think 78, like it's kind of a fair price on this slate. You're hoping you're gonna get about 65, 70 minutes, a monopoly of set pieces, and he's gonna have chances to score or assist. If he was playing 90, should be 10K. Um, so I think I don't know, like if it's gonna depend on other stuff. Like, is he the best option? Maybe Elanga's out and Elliot Anderson's the best option. So then we start there. Um, then who do you want second? Maybe some would say we'll take Tielemans without sets or with sets. If Rashford doesn't start 7,200, I don't know, that would be fine.
Do you want
You could go either
Tielemans?
way on O'Reilly.
Do you want Tielemans with also a minutes concern?
No, not really, and less upside. But I mean, I see people play Tielemans way more than I do, especially in these spots. Only if Rashford's not in, which it seems like Rashford won't be in. But
Yeah, didn't Tielemans have the assist on Wednesday or Tuesday?
he's just like, I agree that he's somewhat of a minutes risk, but he's been going 90 like almost every game.
He went 65 in the. I
But
guess that was 2
like
games
all
ago.
90s before that. I know that Ross Barkley is back now,
Okay, I was gonna say
which does make a difference. But
yeah, maybe a similar situation to Morgan Rogers to an extent in terms of that. So yeah, questions there. Mateus Fernandez, 6,200. People play him, and he was awesome. He's been awesome the last couple of games here. But
yeah, he's playable here if Smallbone doesn't start.
So Smallbone doesn't start. Fernandez, 6,200 against this this bad Aston Villa side, as you said.
No, not bad, but just like a team that I'd be fine to play Fernandez against.
Would you rather play him or if Buonanotte starts at 5,300?
Man, Fernandez by a mile.
Okay.
I'm never clicking Buonanotte.
Hinchelwood, 5,100 as a right back.
No, I'll play a Yari though.
Okay.
What's a Yari? 56. He went 90 last start.
Okay. Yeah, last start.
He's a
wild card.
Yeah, and he's been like close to. He's been getting more forward when I've seen in the box a ton. Like you just feel like a goal contribution's coming.
Yeah, those Brighton midfielders we always talk about Baleba ripping shots from outside the box. I think Baleba has like on a per 90 rate. Maybe I'm just making this up, but he might have he might be like top 5 for shots outside the box.
Yeah, he's got a great shot on him.
Because whenever he gets the ball, it just feels like he's ripping it if he's within 30 yards.
I'm drawing a blank. The last game, I can't believe he didn't score with a rocket. But yeah, even him too. 4,900 in this spot wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, we're just in a situation where you got all these okay Brighton midfielders, and it really depends on what actually the lineup looks like. And that's kind of what we're waiting on. El Kanouche, 4,800 at Brighton. But, I mean, in that situation, would you just rather play the Brighton guys?
Yeah.
Sulemana, 45. Dibbling, 43. Yates, 41. Now we're talking. Yates, I mean, we look at Yates here. Back-to-back 90s. 2 shots last couple games. Shots assisted. Are we in the Yates territory? 4,100.
I mean, I don't really see why you're going to need her, that you would need it. I didn't find myself needing to go this low.
Okay. I guess depends on Estupinian. Maybe.
I was trying to figure out, like, does dual eligibility change anything here? Because yeah, it is different that they've brought it back. I guess all it would be is like what you could play Asensio at mid.
Like a Dingra is here too.
So that's really the only thing, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. I think you probably just want set piece guys though, at least for cash games. They're all easy enough to afford.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Elliot Anderson, maybe Fernandez, maybe O'Reilly, possibly Tielemans.
So we're locked down here. Estupinian, play him if O'Reilly doesn't start. Don't play him if O'Reilly starts.
That's what I say. I think other people are just going to play him no matter what.
Well, it's because they don't know the set piece situation.
It might not matter in this spot too, because
also true.
O'Reilly's going to go off at 65, and you might get 25 minutes of Estupinian sets. Yeah, I don't know, Adam. I would be tempted to fade if O'Reilly started, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You look through his game logs, and basically all his stats are just crosses. His shot totals are okay. He had a couple shots last game, but his shot totals aren't great on a consistent level here. It's not like he's supplying defensive stats at a regular rate.
It's a great matchup, is the thing, right? Scored a nice free kick against City.
It is a great matchup, but I will say similar to that Newcastle one, it doesn't always mean a great floor, because if Brighton score 2 goals in the first half, they're not just going to be, okay, let's take 30 corners here. They're not going to. That's not going to be that kind of game. We saw this Newcastle game, 3-0. Newcastle finished with 16 shots and 2 corners. The Man City
Yeah.
game was also similar. Man City, 18 shots, 5 corners in that game. 2-0 win, simple. So, like, if
Yeah.
Brighton get the early goals, there's not going to be floor points. And you figure the main reason they're playing Estupinian is those floor points. Of course, if they struggle to score and if they don't have a goal in the 70th minute, or if they're losing, Leicester get an early goal, then that's a situation of, okay, here's Estupinian with 15 crosses and you're screwed. So,
Yeah, that's very, very well said, actually, Adam. Good points. Um, Newcastle, yeah, didn't smash Leicester with the floors. Not a ton of corners. Same with City the week before. Yeah, makes me second guess O'Reilly a little bit.
yeah, I mean, maybe there's more second guessing in cash games, I would say, because you have the sub risk and you're playing these guys for set pieces, and
Right, right,
if they're scoring goals instead of getting set pieces, then there's not 100% chance that the set pieces actually happen. So
right.
also at defender, so Stupian 6,500. Matson he did go 90 last game, so that is interesting, but he is still 6,200. I think that's high price, but it is Southampton. So I guess I won't throw him out completely, but 6,200. Manning for 5,900 without 90 minutes, I think is kind of tough here. Nico Williams, as you mentioned, if he's in a wingback role, he's 5,800. Speaking of wingbacks, if they do go wingbacks, and also if they only fullbacks, uh, I guess do you even need the money for Alex Moreno if assuming he starts? So he couldn't play last week. So Olaina's injured. Moreno couldn't play last week because he's loan locked. Now the assumption is he's going to be here, and he's basically going to be here for 90. So what are your thoughts on Moreno at 2,900, wingback or fullback?
Yeah, I like the Forest guys. I think if they're wingbacks, they might just be the best plays. Um, you said, do you need the money? I don't know that you need it, but you could use it. Like I think 2,900 for Moreno against Everton is just like a pretty good play, and even Williams 58 is fine. Like when they're better than Matson in my opinion, better than Manning. Like you said, just too much risk there. So there's just not a lot else on the slate to like. So I think it kind of amplifies the Forest guys, especially if they're wingbacks. If they're not wingbacks, I'll probably you forget about Williams and then just play Moreno, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean this is I think it was
I guess
last week
I
we had.
shouldn't say sorry. I do see the Leicester guy. I don't know, Luke Thomas there taking sets and cheap Leicester. I don't know. I don't want to say there's nobody else, but like Forest guys look decent.
Yeah, I mean it's similar. I think wasn't Ben Johnson 2,900 last week, but
Yeah.
a similar spot. Of course, Ben Johnson with his set pieces, maybe not the exact kind of comparison, but I wouldn't say too far off. Moreno is more. I guess maybe we don't know fully how attacking he is with Nottingham Forest because he hasn't played a ton. But
Yeah, and it wouldn't be too crazy to see Moreno take a set. I mean, Danilo takes. There's no other left-footed players. Moreno would be the only one on the pitch, so I don't know. Like
it's true.
maybe it would be crazy. I'd look at the numbers and he's never taken any. But he
He
doesn't really
took
play either.
he took one in 5 years ago with Betis, and then 7 years ago with Betis.
Yeah. I just it wouldn't like shock you.
Yeah, I mean, if especially with the Audalanga there, uh, maybe
Because normally
maybe
they just don't play with any left-footed players. Actually, they
is
use Nico Williams.
is Ramon
Um,
Sosa left-footed if he comes on?
oh, actually,
No,
is
he's
it Yates?
right-footed.
I think
Okay,
Yates is left-footed actually, but he's not.
he doesn't take. Oh, Yates set pieces.
No. I don't want someone to come to me and say they have another left-footed player. I think.
Yeah,
Look
they're.
at that. Yates has a corner.
Oh, he does. Uh oh. So I was 4,100. You didn't
Nah,
want to
they just
play him.
don't do it. They just take right-footed corners on every side,
Yeah.
unless I guess specialist Danilo's in there.
Yeah. Nothing. Otherwise, nothing stands out. Kyle Walker Peters as a wingback, I guess, is another $2,900 option. But so I think Moreno stands out, and then Estupinian depends on the lineup, and Matson is an okay option, I would say, and Nico Williams also depends on the lineup slash formation. I think that's kind of
Yeah,
what we're looking at.
I think it is. And yeah, like just to put a bow on it or come back to the Stupinian, like if it was a back four for Forest and you downgraded Nico, I think it might be just really easy to play Purvis and Moreno.
Moreno. Yeah.
Yeah, even like a Stupinian without sets, like almost just to block, like you just play a Stupinian and Moreno. But I would want Nico as a wing back
Does it
if we got that.
if he steals some sets though? Does that change anything?
Yeah, I just don't think he will.
Okay, he did take
I
one
guess
last
he
week.
could. He could. I guess he could. Yeah, but I don't want to like
I
bank on
think
that.
he's also going to be on the right side here because Moreno's more of a left-sided guy, right?
Yeah, Moreno's playing on the left for sure.
Because okay, I guess it's because Ola Aina can play either, but I think Williams must be going to the right.
Williams has played both, and he's played
Yeah,
both for Wales too. Even
yeah. I feel like he was more of a right back in the past.
yeah, he was in the past, and
He was a right
he's
back all last season, and now he's a left back
yeah,
all this season. That's
uh-huh.
pretty, good job by him. Shouts to
Yeah, he's been
Nico.
good. He's been good.
Yeah, he's one of these guys who's with all these managerial changes that he won a role, lost a role, and been criticized a bit his last few years, but sticking around. So good on him though. So yeah, Moreno. I'll just plug in a Stupinian for now and see what we get. Goalkeeper Verbruggen is 6K, 40 almost 50% clean sheet odds. The numbers on Leicester are just crazy. Like if you just tell me the amount of times that Brighton have struggled defensively when they lose a guy or change up their back line because someone's hurt, like they just make mistakes all these games. And to see them close to 50% is wild, but it makes sense because of Leicester. But Verbruggen at 6K, do you do it?
Um, maybe I don't know. Like I think it's fine. I'm not going to prioritize it.
Okay.
Um,
I think it's
are
easy to get
you?
there.
Are
I
you?
think it's
Yeah, I think it's easy to get there. I
as everyone we've talked about, basically all the guys we talked about, maybe outside of Sensio 8,200, there's a lot of guys just sitting in the 6K range. So it's pretty easy to spend up at goalkeeper.
yeah, and I guess I know you're off. I know you're off Sells and Pickford because that's going to be a back and forth 2-2 affair. And then, yeah, I don't really want to play Villa keeper, Ramsdale. I can see myself
Herman
getting up to.
Hermanson.
Yeah, I don't know though. Maybe this Irain Cashin is going to be in there at center back.
If he's in there, I'm just doing a 6 Brighton lineup.
I don't know. This would be the spot to start him. Apparently, this guy's supposed to be good. I mean, he started 126 games or something for Derby, and he's got like a decent valuation.
I
I don't see
think
why they wouldn't. I don't see why they wouldn't start him.
he came on in that Aston Villa game and made an immediate mistake. I'm
Mm.
pretty positive. Yeah, it led to that Asensio goal.
Hey, I mean, a home spot
Actually,
against Leicester is a great place to get your feet wet.
I guess. Yeah, so
Maybe Vardy will burn him.
he played 18 minutes and they allowed 2 goals in those minutes. Yeah, okay, couple start. Oh no, these are Derby starts. Okay, never mind. I'm looking at his prior game log. Okay. Yeah, maybe he's awesome. I don't know. Um, yeah, the one thing with Hermanson is like you look through his game logs and the save totals aren't there. Like this isn't me like touting Emi Martinez in Champions League because I'm gonna take him to get more than 5 saves. And this isn't the same situation. It doesn't feel like the saves aren't there. Their defense is making so many mistakes that every team is getting good shots and the save opportunities just aren't the same. Outside of that Chelsea game, he basically rarely makes more than, at least lately, more than 3 saves. So
Yeah, the only thing I would add is the new spot against Leicester here. like the get right spot for keepers.
Oh, I was talking about Hermanson against Brighton.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. No, I think you're right about that. Yeah, that was you nailed it, that Emmy Martinez midweek, bunch of saves. Yeah, it's not like the same thing here playing Hermanson. I agree with you. I'm not looking to do that.
Yeah, and Jan Sommer as well. I do. I mean, I would say if we do get this rotated Nottingham Forest, I do think Pickford is pretty solid at 4,200. Sorry, not
Yeah.
rotated, just injured side. If they don't have like one of their number nines here, which they've basically had all season because Chris Wood has been healthy all season and Wani has started the games recently. If neither of those guys are there and Alonga's out, I think it's a pretty good spot for Martinez, especially at 4,200. I mean, what? I mean, the odds again. I guess he'll be
No, I
popular because
agree.
the odds.
I agree. You're right. Yeah. You
I
could
think both
see
those
Everton
get
just winning, right? 1-0 or something.
right. Yeah, both those guys 4,200, 5K for sells.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that the people looking at the odds, those will be popular
yeah,
keepers. That game has a very low total, 2.4 or something.
yeah. And if you have the extra money, people will probably just go to Verbruggen. I wouldn't be surprised if Verbruggen was like 30% in the big
Yeah,
$5 single entry.
you'll be able to get the money for it. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is a quick rundown, very quick, tournament wise. So games, looking at these games from the outside, what do we think is going to happen in these games? Do we see Brighton getting those early goals and just kind of sitting on the 2-0, 3-0 kind of win? Do we see goals happening in Forest Everton, despite what the odds say? And do we see both these teams scoring in Southampton, Aston Villa?
I think maybe yes to every question you just asked me. Yeah, I don't know. You made a good argument for Forest and Everton scoring. I don't know if the
I said,
podcast heard that, but
yeah, I think I said that before the podcast. So yeah, so my logic here. So actually, we have another video up on the YouTube, RotoWire Soccer YouTube. So that's youtube.com/@RotoWire Soccer. Make sure to like all this video. Make sure to like this video. But we got a betting show up. I took teams to score in that game. Just a spoiler there. I took both teams to score. We got two teams sitting in low blocks, and people look at these teams from the outside, and it's like, yeah, super defensive teams. Nottingham Forest has been good defensively all season. So has Everton. But you look at these recent Everton games, defense just hasn't been as solid. Nottingham Forest missing some guys, changing their lineup up, and you got two teams sitting in low blocks. How are they going to play? Two teams just can't just like live off of sitting in low blocks and have nothing happen. So that's when things open up a little bit. So I just think there's going to be goals in this game. While I say that, like I think 1-1 is in play, but I do think there would be opportunities for each of these sides. So I wouldn't be like, okay, look at the implied goal total, I'm going to completely fade it. I wouldn't take that route. Is kind of what it comes down to.
yeah, no, great points. I think I agree. I think, like I said, I think I agree with everything you asked. Like, yeah, 3-0 Brighton, 1-1 Forest Everton, both teams to score, and Southampton Villa. That's kind of where I'm leaning to.
You can't agree with me on everything. Come on.
I don't like to, but I have to.
So this Southampton Aston Villa match, because I think if you take Southampton from like the abyss of their season when they're at their worst, you look at their last couple of results. Okay, 1-1 Crystal Palace. They outplayed Crystal Palace in that game. 3-1 at Tottenham. It was an okay game. They allowed some goals. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was like okay, Spurs dominated. So is this like a Southampton team that are ready to allow 4 goals again against Aston Villa, or do you think maybe there's some end of season, I don't know, looking towards next season, I don't want to say confidence, but just like, I don't know, maybe life from this team? I guess
Yeah,
I guess they let go. Their manager is no longer here, so their assistant Simon Rusk, I believe, is the manager. New manager bump, man.
wait, did that just happen? I didn't know that. I missed that. Must have happened a while ago.
That happened earlier this week.
Oh, okay. After a win? After they won?
They didn't
Or did they
win.
not just? Oh, they didn't win.
They lost
Yeah,
to
that was.
Tottenham.
Oh,
That confirmed their relegation. Then Juric left, I want to say, on the Monday this week.
oh, they didn't win. I was confused. Okay, yeah. I don't know. It's tough. No, I don't think. I don't think you can. They've just been really bad. I don't know that you can give them a bump. I mean, I'd be fine playing their guys here though. I mean, Villa gave up a ton of floor points and chances to Forest last game. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of just always
Are
cool
we
with playing
comparing
guys against Villa.
Southampton to third place Forest?
PSG scored a ton of floor points against Villa. No, you're right. I don't know, Adam. I can play. I don't mind playing some of the Southampton guys. Maybe I just am biased for whatever reason.
For whatever reason, because
I mean,
we
like
got
Fernandez,
Sulemana.
Fernandez and Sulemana, the guys
Dibble.
that have done it in the past.
I mean, I think they want 100 million from Dibbling, so
Wild, right?
so
I was thinking about that too. Like, if you're young and English or young and British, it puts a bigger number on your valuation.
yeah, that's what it seems like. There's always that meme going around. It's like if your name is Dibblinginho or
Yeah, right.
Diblinetti,
Yeah.
it changes the amount of money you're getting, kind of a thing. Yeah, so I think just building off of that, I think one of my favorite tournament routes will be, people will probably just look to this Brighton team because, okay, they're home against Leicester and they're going to play these guys. And I think Brighton are going to get their goals, but I think, okay, maybe their goals are random. Maybe the Brighton goals are random. Maybe it is, maybe we get one of the center back goals or a defensive midfielder scores, something like that. And, the popular Welbeck or Pedro or one of these wingers, those guys don't get a goal or assist, and instead we just look. Maybe Villa do get that 3 or 4 goal game here against Southampton, and then we get the Asensio, maybe Watkins, Rodgers, whoever. Maybe throw in Malen here, get whoever. I think that will be, because you don't think those guys will be. I know they're cheaper, but you got to say they're probably going to be less popular than the Brighton guys, right?
I think so, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good spot too for
It feels
Villa.
like Rodgers has been not popular all season.
You're right. Yeah, except in like a few spots. I think like it could change a little here. I think people will like Villa guys. Like you can make lineups without even playing anyone from the underdogs with the
Right.
way the prices are. You can I think the optimal build is probably to just jam 5 of the favorites in the 5 outfield spots, right? Like not even consider anyone from Southampton or City. I mean, we haven't even talked about an Everton player yet.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the tournament route. I mean,
my
if you can
bad.
find the Everton goal or yeah, it's good. I don't know. Villa will be popular too.
I'm done with Beto, if I'm being honest. He's gotten me too many times here, and now their guys are getting healthy off the bench. He hasn't gone more than 80 the last 3. I'm done with Beto. That probably means he's going to score. Right, Chermiti and Broja are both healthy. Um, I will say I do like Ndiaye though. He's back healthy. 75 minutes, maybe closer to 90. He got the PK against Arsenal in that last game, and he still had an 8-point floor in that game. That is
Yeah,
one player I do like. I know it is a tough spot in Nottingham Forest, but you know, injuries, lineup rotation there for Forest. Maybe that leaves more of a floor, more opportunities for these Everton guys.
yeah. I mean, if we're talking tournaments, I mean, anything's you can play these guys in tournaments just because there's no really locks on the favorites, like we talked about.
No, we didn't mention James Garner. If he's in the 11 again, split a set pieces at 5,200.
And just a lot of subs probably too on Brighton and Villa with their attackers. Like a lot of subs. Pay attention to the bench.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil's healthy again, and he's going to come on at some point. For one of these wingers, we'll see if Ndiaye gets the sub. But Ndiaye, you could argue, is their best player now that he's healthy. I think he's going to be most likely to go 90 as we get going here. I think that's at least what I'm going with. That's at least
I
what I'm
agree.
hoping. So,
I agree.
any other thoughts here on this 3-gamer?
Not really. I mean, I think we jammed in quite a bit for what this slate is.
We jammed all of it in. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, Roto 15% off a subscription, any kind of subscription over at RotoWire. Use that promo code. And I don't know if there's a box to, leave your comments. Leave your comments. Be like, the soccer department is awesome and love those guys, love their YouTube channel and all that stuff. So make sure you put that in. I'm not even sure there's an area for that, but either way, just send an email, support@rotowire.com. Just be like, I love soccer. Those guys are the best. Just send that email in. That'll be that'll be real nice for us. But give a thumbs up on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. And once you're subscribed to RotoWire, rotowire.com/chat, get into our Discord. Shouts to Wingman. Wingman found our Discord. He took a while. There's a subscriber only chat on the Discord. It's like, I don't even know what the full name is. It's like RW Soccer for subscribers, and it's not just #soccer. Ryan, you don't know it. So it's something, it's soccer and then something like that. So either way, there is commenting going on in that, in case you're lost in our Discord and can't find it.
Soccer chat with the RotoWire team.
There we go. Soccer chat with the RotoWire team. Incredible naming there. All right, that's all we got. Thank you for listening. Good luck on the slate, Ryan, and we'll see everyone next week.
Thanks, Adam. Good luck, everybody.